In 2021, there was a similar flare-up going on in the region, and there was a convoy of cars that drove through
I remember it.
London, shouting, F the Jews, rape their daughters, rape their mothers.
Yeah.
What did Hamas do last week? They raped the daughters and they raped the mothers.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that the same flag being flown from those cars that were shouting that through megaphones in an area that has a high population of Jewish people living in it was the same flag that we saw out in the streets in London. I just want to say this. We cannot divorce the anti-Semitism here in the UK from the anti-Semitism at the very core of Hamas, whose charter makes very clear, their founding charter, people can go and look it up on the internet. It's so clear in its anti-Semitism. It's so clear that it will not accept any negotiated solution to the problem. It's so clear that its intention is to kill all Jews. So when we hear people in London waving the Palestinian flag and threatening to rape Jewish women, and then we see people in Israel raping Jewish women, I think we need to join the dots and realise that in this country we need to take far more seriously anti-Semitism, because it's not just a problem for us Jews, it's a problem for the whole of society. If we sit by and look at people in the street threatening to rape anybody with a megaphone, and there's nobody in jail for that today.
No.
The police dropped the charges. They didn't manage successfully to put anyone in prison for that. I think that's shocking. And I think that really what Jewish people are afraid of is, we talked about those people in that protest last weekend. If they're not really out for Palestinian people's welfare because they're not speaking out about the many things that stop the Palestinians having a state and peace and a good life, then we can assume what they maybe are out there for. And that's why Jewish people are worried, because these people live among us. We saw thousands of people on the street there. We read thousands, if not millions, of comments online which are vicious and brutal and threatening. And then we see those things happening in Israel. We've had Islamist terror attacks here in the UK, Manchester Arena, London Bridge, not far from here. I've reported from them as a journalist. We need to take these threats seriously. They're not just to Jews, but they are primarily and usually first to Jews. There's something which we cannot tolerate, and we need to start at the thin end of the wedge. We need to take it seriously.